All right, for today's March Madness tip, we're going to talk about tournament teams that do well in tournament play. So what I've done here is I've taken the last 10 NCAA championships. These are the people who won the championship. This is who they played, and so this is the people that lost in the championship. The green teams, anybody who's in green, they won their conference championship before March Madness began. So in 2010, Duke won the ACC championship, Butler won the Horizons League championships, and then they met up together and Duke won the championship. The yellow teams, they made it to their conference championship and lost. So Kentucky was the runner-up in the SEC championship, and the red teams, Kansas right here, they did not make it to their conference championship before March Madness began. So what does all of this mean? I think that teams that do well in tournament play consistently do well in tournament play. There's a big difference between a team that is just a good regular season team, does well in that kind of structure, compared to a team that can handle the win or go home, night in, night out, playing all of this crazy stuff. So I think that teams that are good in tournament plays are the teams that you should look for in March Madness. So I broke all this down for teams that played in championships. So this takes both of these groups into account. Just people who made it to the championship. Half of the time, 50% of the time, they were champions in their own conference bracket. 20% of the time, they were runners-up, so they made it to their conference championship and did not make it. And 30% of the time, they did not make it to their conference championship. So that means 70% of the time, people who make it to the NCAA championship, they also made it to their conference champion. What about the actual champions, the ones that come off as a winner? 40% of the time, the people who win the NCAA championship, they won their conference championship as well. 30% of the time, they made it to their conference championship and lost, so they were the runners-up. And 30% of the time, they were early outs and did not make it to their conference championship. Once again, 70% of the time, people who win the NCAA championship also made it to their conference championship. Now, what does this mean? Should we jump on everybody who won their small little championship, like Butler winning the Horizons League championship back in 2010, 2011? No, I don't think that's what it means at all. I think it means the opposite. We should be wary of teams who are ranked really well in the tournament, but did not do well in their conference championship. These are teams like Michigan, who just struggled in that kind of environment. Those are teams that I'm more worried about. Now, 2019 was the last time that we had a March Madness final. Neither of those teams made it to their conference championship before. So obviously this isn't a consistent, you can count on this every time, but 70% is a really high number. And so that's what I'm going to look for when filling out my bracket is who does well in that kind of tournament play. And I'm going to ride with those teams.
This is real life, little home, that's why I stayed down. I done came up off that boy, look what I made now. Like Nike.